My name is Susan Gouthro, and I'm singing Sister Helen Prejean. I hope that they feel the emotions of the characters on stage, and then they can do with that what they want. But I hope that the emotion comes across to them.
What has my character taught me? He's taught me that there's more behind a person than just kind of what they've done in their past, and that one thing shouldn't define someone, even though it only takes one thing to really screw up your life. But he's kind of taught me to really look past the things people have done, and I think hopefully my portrayal will also. My portrayal of the role will also make that apparent to the audience that this guy is a human, and is he capable of forgiveness? Is he not? And yeah, I think that's what he's taught me, is that everyone deserves love, and that's just a gift. Like a nun.
Wow. Well, it's got. That's a great question. There's a few things actually. It's a modern work, so students get exposure to different kind of composition style, and it's in English and it's American, so it's maybe easier to access on that level. It's our mother tongue. Why else is it important? Yeah, just for the social context of it, I think. It makes everybody kind of stop and think a bit about the whole situation and what the opera's trying to convey. And it's a real challenge, so I think students like challenges because more often than not they rise to the challenge, and I think that's what's happening here.
I guess that's up to each person, because a lot of people could have a different reaction to each scene. I know in preparing for this role, I was reading a lot of interviews, and I think one of the things I really liked is after his performances, some woman came up to him and said, thank you for that. My daughter was murdered, and you've actually changed the way I think about him. And so just taking that opportunity to take this on and to present a character that people might not be familiar with, I think is what I'm hoping, that's what I'm hoping people get out of this.
My name is Bobby Carlson, and I am the synthesizer player. I'm playing the piano and harp parts in the play.
And you were also
I was also the rehearsal pianist. Well, I think an important part of this story is kind of the recognition of humanity in other people and in various forms. We get really in this piece. We get really up close and personal with a lot of different type of people. Some we might not have identified with, some we might have. But I think something that's really exceptional about this work is that it forces the human part of every character onto the audience, which I think is a really important experience, because it forces you to empathize with people you wouldn't have otherwise, especially with, Joseph Desrochers, the inmate on death row. No one in the audience at the beginning of the opera probably would have resonated with the guy who raped and murdered a girl, but by the end of the opera you kind of have this understanding that it was wrong, but should it be killed? No. So I think it's an important life lesson.
I am very excited to bring our story that we've worked so long to an audience so that they can experience the journey that the rest of us have gone through in rehearsals, and that their conscious can now be maybe changed by this story.
This opera is very different, but because it really breaks down and deals with a lot of the bigger questions that we have to deal with as a society, like the value of human life, and just in general, you know, how people react to certain situations that really throw you under the bus, and it really exposes all sides of that, and leaves you with a lot of questions to be answered that you have to find for yourself. So it's a thinky show.
I'm most excited about this production because it's a modern opera, and so it's kind of different from, you know, the traditional operas that we've been studying about in school. So it's really exciting to kind of dive into a more modern opera musically, but also character-wise, and just the story is a very American story, and so it feels good to be able to do something like this. And I think we're really fortunate to be able to do a project like this here at JMU.
My name is Nora Winsler, and I'm the assistant director. I directed the opening prologue that we decided to film. So when I began directing this film, I talked to a film director because I'd never directed film before. I've only worked in stage, and he told me that one of the most exciting parts about film is that you can decide what the audience sees and doesn't see. So at the moment of the crime, I decided to have it be a blackout so that you don't see what actually happens to both the victims. And I think what compelled me to make that choice was that the audience, whatever they come up with in their own imagination, is going to be worse than anything you show them.
It's on me, sister.
I think it's important to look at social injustice head on, especially in the arts, because then, I mean, there's no real reason to be performing something other than to make people think and reflect on their lives, and this is a really direct way of doing that with the subject matter. So I think it's important that JMU is doing that.